DaVinci Resolve 20 came with a lot of new flashy AI tools. They're great and all, but tucked away in the audio effects are some new effects in DaVinci Resolve 20 that kind of slipped under the radar that you might not have heard about. They are the EQ, the gain, and the chain effects. They aren't just duplicates of things that we've already had, they're streamlined and smart additions to our audio workflow that might come in handy for you. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how they work and talk about why and when you might want to use them. I also have some quick tips for you at the end of this video, so you want to make sure you stick around for those. Let's dive into DaVinci Resolve. In DaVinci Resolve here, we're currently in the latest version of DaVinci Resolve 20, which is 20.0.1, and we're going to take a look at these new effects here, starting with the new EQ plugin. Later in the video, I'm going to show you how we can do some of these things in the Edit tab, but now let's jump into Fairlight, because I'm an audio guy, I love me some Fairlight, so let's jump over to the musical notes at the bottom. So now over here in Fairlight, your screen should look like this. If it doesn't, you can come up to Workspace and reset the UI layout. But let's go ahead and take a look at this EQ plugin first. Now, it is true that we do have our track level EQ right over here. We can also select our clip, open our inspector, and we have our EQ right here. But sometimes you might want to tweak things differently, right? So let's say maybe we have a particular EQ for the entire track, but one clip in that track might need a little bit different EQ, and we don't necessarily want to do it using the inspector. So we've got a few different ways we can apply this new EQ plugin onto our clips and our tracks. And this is going to be true for any plugin, including the other two we're going to talk about. So the first way we're going to do it is in our mixer. If you don't see your mixer, right here, open up the mixer. We're going to come to our effects, hit the little plus. We're going to come down to EQ, Fairlight Effects, and Fairlight EQ. And now this is going to pop up a new 6-band EQ effect that works as a plugin on our particular track, right? Because when we apply it in our mixer, it applies to the whole track. And now you can come in here and make whatever adjustments you want for your whole track. Maybe you want to do something like this, sweeten it up a little bit. There's a little before and after. Take a little trip back in the woods here. Been a little while since we've been back here. Works great, right? Now you could use, in this case, just use your regular track level EQ, which is probably what I would do. But where this comes in handy, like I had mentioned, is if we wanted to change a particular clip in a track that already has EQ on it. So if I were to come in here and just make a cut on my clip, so now we've got two different segments here. Let's say on my track level EQ, let's just for argument's sake say we threw on a high pass filter and a low pass filter here, and we may increase the clarity a little bit there. So now this is applied on my entire track. Let's go from one clip to the other. Here's what it sounds like. Down and stuff over time and with some storms and all that kind of stuff. But let's say I wanted to change just this one clip, right? I like the track level EQ, it does a good job, but I need to further refine this. Well, instead of applying my EQ effect in my effects right here in my mixer, we can actually delete this. I'm going to say delete plugin, and now we can apply it to just this particular clip. So if I come to my effects library, we have our audio effects, and then we've got our EQ right here. Fairlight EQ. I just drag and drop that onto my clips, and now I can change just that clip on top of the EQ that I've already done for the entire track. So if I just play through a little bit, make an adjustment here. So it's, it could use a little work. It's growing in a little bit, but all right, subtle, but you see what you can do is by applying multiple EQs, you can work with different parts of your frequency. So maybe you want to go through, pull out all the bad stuff using your track level EQ, any frequencies that are nasty, that don't sound good, but then you want to kind of bring back some of the different, frequency ranges. Once the harsh sounds are removed, you can use another EQ to do that. So really handy that now we have a built-in EQ effect that we can use as a plugin here on either clips or on a track. Because in the past, you only were able to do that with third-party EQ plugins, but now Blackmagic has given us the built-in plugin Fairlight EQ to be able to do that. So I think that's a really handy tool. You might not use it all the time, but when you need it, and it'll come in super handy. The next new one we're going to talk about here is the gain effect, and this is going to help you set the levels or the gain of your particular audio clip. So for example, I have another clip right here in my timeline, and if I play through it, fact for you. Oh, I got a bug on my audio levels are pretty low, right? Now we can go through and change the level on the clip itself if we wanted. We could do the fader here if we wanted to do that. There's reasons why I don't want to do the fader first, which I've talked about in the past. If you need to know about that, let me know. I can make more vids about that. But in this case, let's apply the gain effect onto my entire track. So I could just come over here from my effects library, drag and drop the gain onto this area of my audio track. And we can see in my mixer over here, it's going to apply the gain. And what this does is essentially allows us to either increase or decrease the amount of volume that's coming off the clip originally. So if I play through it and increase this, we can watch our output meter right here. or you can look at it down here in your mixer, either way, but let's give it a listen here. And remember, for dialogue, we want those levels to be about minus 10 dB in that neighborhood. Blends there. Oh, get out of here, skeeters. Fun fact for you, I actually can wear my same riding pants that I got when I was 14 years old now, and That's actually true. I can wear my same dirt bike riding pants that I got when I was 14 years old. Fun fact there. So with the gain here, we're just able to make adjustments to the signal coming in before we do anything else to it, right? So in this case, you may even want to keep your order here, effects, dynamics, EQ, so that way that gain takes effect first before you work with your dynamics or your EQ. But it can come in really handy just to have another option and another way to adjust the levels of our audio, whether it's dialogue, music, sound effects, it doesn't matter. The gain plugin here is a great way to kind of help you balance things out. Because if you don't have a good audio level and signal to get started with, it could cause problems down the line for you as you work with your audio. The last new effect here that I want to talk about is called the chain effect. Now, if you're not familiar with audio work and you've never heard of a chain plugin before, essentially what it does is allows you to put multiple effects in a chain in a particular order and use that as a plugin. And it'll keep those all together so you can save it as a preset. It's got everything set up for you. And in DaVinci Resolve here, one of the nice things about using the chain plugin is you can have multiple effects in there, and it'll only use up one of your plugins when you add it to the track as a plugin, because otherwise you're only allowed to have, I think it's 4, 5, 6 maybe plugins on a given track. So by using the chain effect here, you can have way more effects applied on a given track. Let's check this out. So again, I'm going to add it from my audio effects library, but you can also come on over to your effects in your mixer. Click on that, and you would come down to multi-effect, Fairlight effects, and chain effect. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that up. So this is what the chain effect looks like. We can actually use the side chain with this effect if we wanted to. You can rename it if you want. Maybe we're gonna call it dialogue. And now what we can do is just build our plugin chain, right? So let's say maybe the first thing I want to do is come to dynamics, and I've got some third-party plugins that I like to use. So let's say I want to come down to my RVox, which is a vocal compressor. And then the next effect that I like to use is a freebie that I gave away a long time ago on my channel. Unfortunately, it's not free anymore. But if I come to EQ, VST plugins, it is the Manny Marquin EQ, which is a great tool here, so I like to use that one. And then the last one that I use on my dialogue here, I'm going to click on the plus again. It is a de-esser and to remove kind of harsh S sounds. And the third-party one that I use for that is if I come to Dynamics, VST, I've got Sibilance. So these are 3 plugins that I like to use on my dialogue. So I can go through and edit these and change them however I want. We'll just do a quick pass here to make the changes, and we'll just hear a little before and after. You can hear how it sounds. And I can even change the order of them in the plugins if I wanted. Maybe I want the EQ one first. So I'm going to just drag it up and drop it. So it's actually going to apply this, then it's going to apply the dynamics, and then it's going to apply the sibilance. So let's do a quick little edit here. We've been back here just getting to riding here halfway through the summer a little bit. Was actually out last night on the blaster and did some ripping around in that and trying to mat down some of the grass because these trails that kind of grew in. We had a bunch of trees fall down and stuff over time and with some storms and all that kind of stuff. So it's, you know, it could use a little work. It's grown in a little bit, but we got to get out here, mash it down a little bit, you know, rip up the ground a little bit and get riding again because it's fun and it's actually quite a good workout, especially. All right, there we go. So I just quickly did a quick little edit there, nothing fancy. I kind of know where I like my settings. I'm going to go ahead and close all these. So now all 3 of these effects are applied onto my audio track as one plugin, right? So we can see right down here, I renamed it dialogue, but right here, if I click on the little settings icon in the middle, it's gonna bring up the entire chain. I can adjust the overall level, either up or down if I wanted to. I can attach it to the side chain and make it react to the side chain if I wanted to. But it just allows you to add in a whole bunch of effects here right into one plugin, so then you can actually use more different things on a particular track if you needed to. This isn't just for dialogue, it could be for sound effects, music, anything. Whatever instruments, whatever you have, any kind of audio, you can use a plugin chain on it. And then you can even save a preset for it. So that way you can just apply the preset, boom, you're done, and you can move on with the rest of your video. Now that we covered the 3 new effects and I briefly talked about how they work, let's get into some bonus tips here for you. Let me know if you guys find any of these helpful. First bonus tip is if you're using the chain effect, it's really nice that you can turn everything on and off really quickly, just like that, or in your mixer right here by clicking the little red dot. Take a little trip back in the woods here. Been a little while since we've been back here, just getting to Now, if you wanted to save a preset, you're just going to come to Fairlight. You're going to go to Preset Library. Then you would come down to Plugin Presets. We would select Audio Track 1, and it's going to save all of the presets that I have on here. So if you have a specific settings for any preset, whether it's these 3 we talked about or anything else, you want to just have that on the track so you can save just that as a preset. But I would select my Audio Track 1, and say Save New, Create New, and then call it Vocal Chain. Save, done, there we go. Now if I ever want to apply it, I select it, select my track, hit apply, boom, we're done. You can move on with your video. Another bonus tip for you, if you applied your effect directly to a clip, kind of like this where we see it's got the effect, how do you open that back up? The main way you're going to do it is select your clip, open up your inspector, and then under the effects section, you're going to see Fairlight EQ, and you can just click on this little icon right here. It's going to pop back out whatever the effect is. You can go ahead, edit it, and make any changes you want, then just close it, and you're good to go. You don't have to go through all this hot mess over here and adjust all those things that's like you don't even know what you're looking at. It's a lot nicer to see the graphic and make changes on the actual plugin window itself. That works not only in Fairlight, but also in the edit page and the cut page, I believe. Let's jump back to the edit page. If you wanted to apply any of these effects onto a track or a clip in the edit page, we can do that now in DaVinci Resolve 20. I'm gonna go open up my effects library. Got my Fairlight effects here. Let's say I wanted to add in the Fairlight EQ. If I want to add it to the track, I could just come down here, drop it on my track, make any changes, close it, we're good to go. If I wanted to make any changes, once I dumped it on the track in the edit page, I can just click over here, select my track, open my inspector, come to the audio section, and then back to the effects just to kind of like reload it there. And now we can see I've got that dialogue chain that I put on there, as well as the Fairlight EQ and each of the individual plugins that are part of that dialogue chain that we made. So I can edit any of those right here in the edit page. Makes it really handy. You almost don't even have to jump into Fairlight that much anymore. You could do it here in the edit page. It's a little bit simpler in Fairlight just because everything's right there and you can see it easier, versus here you got to kind of dig a little bit for it. But you can definitely do it right here in the edit page if you don't want to jump over into Fairlight. And same for these 3 effects and any other effect if you want to apply it to a clip here in the edit page. All you got to do is click, hold, drag and drop it down onto your clip. Boom, there you go. You can make your adjustments, whatever you want to do. Close it, you're good to go. And then if you want to edit that, again, just select your clip, come to your inspector, effects section, audio, and now we see we've got our delay right here, and we can make any adjustments we want. Pop out the whole window if you wanted. You got lots of options on how you can work with it. If you want to get rid of it, just hit the little trash can. Boom, it's gone, you're good to go. So while these 3 new audio plugins might have flown in under the radar because of all the new AI stuff, these are still great tools, and Blackmagic Design is always adding in extra things like this that may not have the big flashiness of like the AI tools and whatnot, but they're gonna be super helpful when you're trying to work with your audio and just try and make it sound the best that you can. So if you've got questions on any of these, or you learned a little something from any of those tips, drop me a comment down below. You want to learn all about audio editing, all the basics, you can check out my audio course, Audio Essentials for Video Editors in DaVinci Resolve. I cover all the basics, and the basics stay the same forever. It doesn't matter the version of DaVinci Resolve. The way I've shown it in my course is the way that you're going to do it pretty much forever. Unless we lose tools in DaVinci Resolve. But everything from version 15 all the way up until whenever, including the version 20 right now, are all going to be applicable to my course. So if you want to know your audio basics, which is the best place you can start, check out my audio course. There's a link down below for that. With that said, I'm going to leave you with this little sample clip that I filmed here of me rambling on about riding my ATV in the woods a little bit, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Take a little trip back in the woods here. Been a little while since we've been back here. Just getting to riding here halfway through the summer a little bit. Was actually out last night on the blaster and did some ripping around in that and trying to mat down some of the grass because these trails that kind of grew in. We had a bunch of trees fall down and stuff over time, and with some storms and all that kind of stuff. So it's, you know, it could use a little work. It's growing in a little bit, but we got to get out here, mash it down a little bit, you know, rip up the ground a little bit, and get riding again because it's fun and it's actually quite a good workout, especially as an old guy like me. You know, it's quite a workout. I was sweating yesterday. I'm gonna tell you what, humidity here in Jersey has been terrible this summer. It feels like August all summer. All right, well, maybe it's time to suit up and hit the trails. Here's a fun fact for you. Oh, I got a bug on my lens there. Oh, get out of here, skeeters. Fun fact for you, I actually can wear my same riding pants that I got when I was 14 years old now, and I'm 45. Yeah, a little old, but they actually fit because I haven't really grown much, right? I had a growth spurt when I was like 14 and pretty much grew up to the size that I am now. But yeah, so fun fact.